Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's verse comes from Romans 1, verse 20, and his word states, "For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and sky through everything God made. They can clearly see his invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, so they have no excuse for not knowing God." There is no excuse for not knowing God. See, nature and creation being one of the main ways that God reveals himself to us both shocks me and it actually makes total sense. Why does it make total sense? Because we see nature everywhere we go. We see animals, we see trees, we see the grass growing, we see people everywhere that we go. We see God's creation no matter where we go. Anywhere and everywhere you go, there is a way for you to see God's creation. So it being one of the main ways that God uses to reveal himself to us makes total sense for his divine nature. So it also shocks me because there are so many people out there that deny the creator. They deny the orderly fashion of the universe that was created by someone. See, chaos does not come from order and order does not come from chaos, but actually God creates order in the chaos, which is so different from what we see. See, God creates everything out of nothing because God is a designer. God is a creator, and denying that denies the fact that everything is structured in such a way that it is cohesive and makes sense for a designer to be involved in his design. See, this is horrible, the fact that we deny the creator, but there's also other people that destroy his creation, that don't treat it the way that God intended for it to be treated, that treat it like it's something disposable, that they destroy it because that's in their hands, because they say that they are meant to rule this world, because they don't care for whatever reason, they do it. They destroy his creation. They don't look at it as a creation. They don't look at it as something to protect. They look at it as something either monetary or something that they can destroy because they're powerful or they're stronger than it. And that's not the way that God intended for things to be. And yet there's also people that love nature so much that they turn it into an idol. They decided to call it Mother Nature. They decided to say that it creates things, but Mother Nature does not exist and neither does it create anything. The only one that creates is God, and he has created everything and has given it a design. And while we see nature grow on its own, it is never on its own. God's word is still actively creating, actively showing up in nature, actively showing us himself through nature so that we can view him, so that we can see his beauty in all of it, so that we can see his invisible qualities. And that part, invisible qualities, is important because the fact that he's showing us his invisible qualities, the fact that he's showing us his eternal power and his divine nature throughout nature, it is important because we get to view it every way we can. We get to go places and enjoy his nature. We get to see people in a new light. See, I saw God's hand today in everything. I went to a park and I actually got to spend time with God. And I didn't just see trees. I didn't just see clouds or birds. I actually saw God's nature. I saw the way that he orderly fashioned everything, that it is cohesive, that it actually makes sense, that it is so beautiful, so kind, so nurturing, and yet it is so orderly and it makes sense. See, I love being in nature. I love going out on nature walks. I love walking through it. I love laying down and just looking at the clouds in the sky. That is something that I adore doing. I love going to the beaches. I love strolling down places where I can view nature, where it actually helps me be closer to my creator. And today I got to do just that. See, this time I saw order. I saw creativity. I saw the sign, and I felt an inner peace today. And I still feel it right now. I still love the way that today made me feel. And while I don't get to enjoy it a lot of times because we're stuck in work and we're stuck doing other stuff, that instead of enjoying God's nature, whenever I get the chance, I want to go out there again. Whenever I get the chance, I want to go out there and enjoy God's nature again. And I want to do it, especially because the weather is getting so much nicer now. See, this makes you feel closer to God. It makes you feel closer to your creator. It makes you look at it from a different point of view and everything that we were meant to do. See, we were meant to live with nature. We were meant to rule it in a way not like today. We were meant originally to rule it in a pure and godly way, in the way that God intended for us to rule over it, to actually treasure it and actually protected in a way that we are not doing nowadays. We are now saying that there's no creator. We are now saying that there is no designer. We are now taking nature for granted and destroying it like it's nothing, or we're making it an idol that it is not. See, nature itself doesn't give peace, but looking at it and knowing that there is a creator behind it, knowing that he created it so that you can enjoy it and view his nature in it, that's what actually gives you peace, a peace unlike this world gives. See, you can go on your nature walks as much as you can, but without God, that peace will only last that moment. But with God, you have an everlasting peace because you know that you'll be able to view it once again. See, I felt so close to God today. I just couldn't explain it. I just felt that peace that he can only give. And I always feel that way whenever I'm with him. But it was the fact that I was outside, that there was fresh air out there, that I could see the birds in the sky, that I could see the river flow by, that I could see the people smile as they were in nature themselves. Those are the things that God always wanted for us to enjoy. We were originally meant to be in nature. And being in nature makes us feel like we're one with God again, because that's the way that he intended it to be. See, when we're out there, we're not worried about what's going out in the world. We're actually just enjoying that time in nature. And that's what God really wanted us to do. See, the way that we were meant to rule over it was to be one with nature in a pure and godly way. The way that we were meant to do it is not the way that we do it today. See, I can't understand how some people see the skies, the clouds, the trees, the rivers, the animals, the flow that it has, the things that it does, and I don't see why they can't see God in it. I don't understand how you can just look at these things and you don't see God in them. See, there is so much order in it. There's so much wonder and design behind it. How do you not see God behind these things? When the birds are singing in the trees, when the fish are swimming in the ponds and the rivers, when the river is just flowing the way that it was designed to flow. It doesn't flow backwards. It doesn't flow up in the sky. It flows the way that it was designed to flow. It is perfect, beautiful, and natural, the way that God designed it. See, clouds provide shade, and sometimes they provide the most beautiful light shows, and you can see the light just escaping through the clouds, and it's beautiful, it's majestic, and it makes you feel closer to God, because you're actually praising him when you view those things, because you know there is a creator behind them, and you can be grateful that he created these eyes that you have so that you can see him, so that you can see his creation. And it is so important for us to look at these things and actually wonder more about who God is and why we're called children, because we should have that childlike wonder every single time we go out there. And it is so important. See, there is evidence of a creator. There is evidence in nature. There is evidence in the order that it is done. There is evidence everywhere that you go. And it is there. See, Paul states, no one has an excuse. Why? Because no matter if you were born 2,000 miles away from where I am, 5,000 miles from where I am, it doesn't matter where you are born, where you live, where you exist. There is always nature around you, and nature always points you to God, meaning that there is no excuse for you to say that there is no God. And those that say there is no God, then they haven't really seen nature for the way that God intended for them to see it. And yet there will be many that say that God does not exist. And yet we see the creator behind all things. There is evidence of a creator. And Paul saying that there is no excuse comes directly from God, meaning that there will be no excuse. No matter what you think, what you say, what you feel, it doesn't matter. The word says there is no excuse for you to not know God, meaning that everywhere that you go, you see God. At some point, you should realize that somebody created that tree to give you shade. At some point, you should be able to say there's a creator that created those birds to sing the unique way that they do. At some point, you should look at the nature out there. You should look at a fellow being and be like, there is God. There is a God that created all these things. And then you can come to him and he will reveal more things than he has revealed thus far. See, if we can't see the signs of creation in creation, we will never recognize the creator. Never. Because we haven't seen the signs in him. So if we can't see this, even if he's right in front of us, because some people want God to just reveal himself to them, like straight on. God is saying today, I am right here. I am in nature. I am the creator of everything that you see. I am the creator of the eyes that you're using. I am the creator of the lips that you're using to actually say, God, reveal yourself to me. Look at him in his creation. Look for him in his creation, and he will show himself to you just as he has stated. And now, what I want you to do, I want to invite you somewhere. Go outside today, tomorrow, someday of this week, in the next week, and whenever you need. Just go out there. Especially now that the weather is being nicer, just go out there and enjoy the creation that God created. Enjoy the fresh air, the beauty, the trees, the life around you, the birds, the animals that scurry along the ground. Enjoy it. Marvel at God's creation. Marvel at him and let him remind you of who he is throughout his creation. That's what God really wants us to see him, to let him be revealed to us throughout his things. Thank you so much for listening. God bless.